September 1st, 2004. Beslan, a small town in North Ossetia, Russia, was buzzing with excitement. It was the first day of school, a time of celebration known as Knowledge Day. Families gathered at School Number One for the annual ceremony, a symbol of hope and new beginnings. But at 9 a.m., hope turned to horror. Armed militants, later identified as Chechen separatists, stormed the school, firing indiscriminately. Over 1,100 people, including 777 children, were taken hostage. The gymnasium became a prison, rigged with explosives that would detonate at the slightest mistake. The conditions inside were unimaginable. Hostages were denied food and water, enduring sweltering heat. The militants used fear as their weapon, threatening to kill anyone who defied them. Children drank their own urine to survive, while parents shielded them from the chaos. Outside, families begged for their children's safety. Negotiations began, but the militants' demands, an independent Chechnya and the withdrawal of Russian forces, left little room for compromise. The world watched, horrified, as the siege dragged into its second and third days. By the morning of September 3rd, tension outside the school was unbearable. Negotiations had stalled, and the militants refused to release the hostages. Around 1 p.m., tragedy struck when two explosions erupted inside the gymnasium. The blasts caused part of the roof to collapse, igniting panic among the hostages. Children and adults tried to flee through windows and doors, but the militants opened fire on them. Russian special forces preparing to act, breaching walls, heavy gunfire. The chaos triggered an immediate response from Russian special forces, including units from Spetsnaz and FSB Alpha Group. Their mission was clear: neutralize the attackers and rescue as many hostages as possible. However, the operation was fraught with danger. The building was rigged with explosives, and the militants were heavily armed, using women and children as human shields. Troops breaking through walls, smoke and fire spreading. Special forces used tanks and rocket launchers to breach the walls and create escape routes for hostages. As they stormed the gymnasium, they faced intense resistance. The militants fought to the last man, some detonating suicide vests to inflict maximum casualties. The battle raged for hours, with indiscriminate gunfire and explosions echoing through the school, fire engulfing parts of the school, hostages being carried out. Amidst the chaos, rescuers worked tirelessly to evacuate survivors. Many hostages were carried to safety under heavy fire, but the confusion and lack of coordination between different security units complicated the operation. Fire spread rapidly, further endangering those trapped inside. Soldiers standing in the aftermath, emotional scenes of parents reuniting with children. When the gunfire finally ceased, the scale of devastation was overwhelming. The gymnasium was in ruins, and the death toll was catastrophic. Over 330 hostages were killed, including 186 children. Hundreds more were wounded, and nearly every family in Beslan was touched by loss. When the smoke cleared, the scale of the loss became clear. Over 330 people were killed, including 186 children. Hundreds more were injured, and countless lives were forever changed. The world mourned with Beslan, but questions remained. Could this have been prevented?